Hey, welcome to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour here at TBC Media. Do not adjust your computers. It's okay. I'm Steve Hughes, your host today, filling in for Louis Amestoy, or as we like to call him, Louie. Yeah, he's off. So is Mike Griffith. So I've got some guest hosts with me this morning. Yeah, nobody's there in the Mike Griffith chair. I've got Blake Bowser from Auto Club Famoso Raceway and Johnny Bedingfield from Scientific Drilling. He's also a racer out at Kern County Raceway. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Well, the inmates have taken over the asylum is what we're doing today. So it's just going to be all of us, but we got to go through some business here. Of course, we want to thank some of our great sponsors, of course, the Bakersfield, California, and Racing Covered Right. Thank you guys for covering all the local and national motorsports around the nation and, of course, in Kern County. And don't forget our Fast Trip. It's our all-area race team coming up at the end of the year. So Fast Trip, be a part of the team.
That'll be out like in December, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Or December 5th or
like that.
Or something like that. So I guess this first part of the segment, we do our national review of what went on last weekend in motorsports, and I think we'll get kick-started with a big win in the Craftsman Truck Series, not called that anymore, Camping World Truck Series, the Rattlesnake 400 from Texas Motor Speedway. And William Byron, the teenager,
is that kid like
gets the win.
14 years old?
I don't think he's graduated high
he's
school
yet. He's got his braces off.
Look at that smile.
And I thought Rico Abreu was gonna do it there until he tagged the wall.
Absolutely.
With 2 to go. I was like, oh man.
And William Byron actually tracked down the '88 truck of Matt Crafton, two-time champion, to get that win, and it was William Byron's second win of the year. I like watching that truck racing. Johnny, do you watch the truck racing?
I do. Every chance I get when I ain't working on my car, and I've been working on my car quite a bit in the last 6 weeks.
Been.
So
yes, you have.
Just came from Victory Circle actually, buying parts.
What about you, Blake? I know you like the straight line stuff, but do you ever watch the roundies?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I watch the biggies. I'll probably watch Daytona this coming up in a couple weeks or so. What is it, July 2nd, I think it is? I'll watch that. I like watching the
Coke 400.
Races.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Nighttime race in Daytona coming up.
Bristol. I really enjoy Bristol.
Yeah.
I just like the kind of the old school.
I like the truck series because they're kind of short sprint races, They're not a whole lot of laps, not a whole lot of pit stops going on, not a whole lot of fuel strategy. It's real racing, and they're not afraid to make contact in the truck series.
I'm kind of fond of those because the Bakersfield connection. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows the story that the first truck was built, in
right
the infield
at
at Mesa Marin. So that's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of watching college sports because these guys are going all out trying to make it big. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Right on. We'll continue the trend here with NASCAR and move on to the next one, the Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan International Speedway. Now, when we're talking about drag racing, Blake, how much does aerodynamics play in the part of drag racing? Like in the fuel categories?
More so when you lose it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you lose, the cars fly away. So that's when you don't really know. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot involved, but you really see it when somebody loses their aerodynamic downforce and the car flies in the air.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot.
Yeah, and in the same way.
Not so much in passing or all that, but obviously in
in going straight and keeping the car on the ground.
Planted to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what we saw this last weekend was a dramatic change in the aerodynamic package for the Sprint Cup cars. I mean, their spoiler was less than a finger length. My index finger, it was actually shorter than that. So, and the splitter on the front of the car, which helps downforce, was taken up by 2 inches. So these guys were really struggling to find some balance in these race cars.
I love it. It put a little more back in the racers' hands.
Absolutely.
Kind of bunched them up, didn't it?
Made for a way better race.
Good.
The guy that started on the pole, Joey Logano in the Deuce, the 22 car, ends up winning the thing after surviving a slew of cautions. But that was a pretty good race there. One of the fastest tracks that NASCAR goes to at Michigan International Speedway, kind of a copycat of California. Our hometown boy, Kevin Harvick, finished 5th. He's got solid top fives. He leads the points, as far as the cumulative total of points in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. So he had a good top 10 run there. And then our other Bakersfield driver, Casey Mears, struggled a little bit in that number in the number 16 Geico machine, 13 Geico machine. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate that. Trying to keep all these numbers in my head. So a little bit of struggle there for Casey Mears, but he's still in the top 35, which is where you want to be. Final race in NASCAR, which was actually on Saturday, the Menards 250 at Michigan International Speedway. Saw something that was really cool, man. Rookie driver in the Xfinity Series, that young man right there, Daniel Suarez. Not only did he become the first Mexican-born winner of any national series in NASCAR, he had to track down the most prolific Xfinity racer in the history of the series, Kyle Busch, and passed him on the white flag lap. So it was pretty amazing.
It's been coming. It's been coming for a while. This guy's going to be a star.
Absolutely, an international star. I mean, guy comes from Mexico, and he's with the right team, Joe Gibbs Motorsports. And I'll tell you what, they've been grooming him, and now we're starting to see that success from Daniel Suarez. Ryan Reed finished up in 14th. Not a bad run for him, considering he's had a little bit of bad luck over the last couple of weeks in the Xfinity Series. So glad to see Ryan back up into the top 20.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Yep. That's it. That's it. You just got yes, sir. That's it.
That's it, bro.
Oh, and how about this?
Once I just saw that picture, and I was like,
Blake, did you see this crash?
I didn't see that. No.
Johnny?
I actually spent last weekend in Salt Lake City. I was there for a drag race.
Right on.
But I didn't see that. That doesn't look good.
Texas Motor Speedway, high speed mile and a half track, and coming through the tri-oval right here, Joseph Newgarden got loose, overcorrected, and took out a car and himself and hit the wall tremendously hard. A broken clavicle. And so I think a hurt hand on that deal. But let's talk about the safety. Let's talk about the safety of race cars. We'll talk about the safety that we see in NHRA first. What developments have you seen over the last 5 years that have really changed the sport in as far as the safety aspect goes?
In the last 5 years, wow, gosh. Just all the, they're basically in a cocoon now.
Right.
I mean, used to be just in a roll cage. Now you've got the seat that basically you sit in and it forms to you. That's how they actually pour those seats like that. It's like a raw material, and I know they do it in NASCAR too. You sit inside it, and the whole seat basically just conforms to you. And then all the helmets. I mean, just all the research on the helmets and the Hans device has been. I don't know how many years that's been, but the Hans device has been
just after 2001.
Yeah. So that really has. Everyone's wearing those now. For a while, it was just the guys hitting the high mile per hour. Now everyone's wearing them. So
and then in the funny cars, when they blow when a blower explodes, the parachutes automatically deploy, things like that.
Automatic fuel shut off. In fact, a really good example of that is Beckman 2 weeks ago when his car exploded. He didn't know. I mean, he's covered in oil, so he's still going through the motions, hitting the chutes, hitting the fuel. Everything but nothing's there. You actually saw him wipe his visor of his helmet off. It was covered in oil. Yeah, but he went up. The chutes are up here, but the body's gone, so they're already deployed. But they just go through their instinctual motions. So, but all that, just all the connections that automatically shut stuff off has been huge.
And Johnny, what about on the local level? What have you seen in the safety advances, especially since you started racing on dirt, several years ago?
Definitely the Hans device. I mean, that's been a big deal. Like, everybody's wearing them now. It's great because I always wore a donut, out the dirt track.
Neck roll.
Donut, neck roll, whatever you want to call it. And then this year, we suffered a tragedy in the dirt late model. Now the dirt guys are even putting the fire extinguishers, automatic fire systems in their cars. And I mean, long overdue. I'm glad everybody's jumping on board. I mean, on asphalt, it's mandatory that we run that deal. And that's basically the fire systems and Hans device, definitely.
Well, and that IndyCar race was canceled due to rain at Texas Motor Speedway, so it'll be made up in like 2 months. Is that crazy, or what? They cancel a race? Yeah, come back in 2 months. We'll see you guys in 60 days. Now let's talk about NHRA. Englishtown, New Jersey, Old Bridge Township Raceway. Is this one of the oldest racetracks that they go to?
That's definitely on my. I've yet to be there, actually. But
still a family-owned track?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's owned by a family, and just got that old school feel. And all their logos have old front motor drive. It's just a really neat, old school. And our buddy Ron Capps got a win there.
Yeah,
so
2 in a row
for him. Yeah, and Steve Torrance won Top Fuel, and one of the two Summit Pro Stockers won again.
Either the red or the blue team. Red or the blue Summit cars. So far, so those guys are just. They've seemed to have figured out the new electronic fuel injection a lot better.
And Greg Anderson.
A lot better than everybody else. So
Ron's on a tear, and good. And he mentioned on air that he wants to drive a fuel altered at the March
he
meet.
certainly
so how
did.
About that,
yeah, that was pretty cool. I was
Yeah.
watching that as well. I'm like, man, that guy, he knows.
But he and I talked in January of
Yeah.
this year. He's like, find me a fuel altered to drive. I want
Right.
to drive a Topolino style. I said, okay, but nothing ever happened.
Because that's really
that's what he wants to do.
Because that's the fuel altereds are the cars that are a little even more jittery than a funny car.
He wants to drive a car, and
Right.
then those you have to drive. You don't
Right.
just sit in one and go, 3 whatever seconds. You drive those things.
Right.
What
left,
hasn't
right,
Ron?
and-
What hasn't Ron drive?
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean?
He's done
Dirt cars,
and
and
dirt
everything,
late model.
anything.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah,
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's not
absolutely.
scared.
And Ron Cap's coming on strong, especially as the
Yeah.
summer months start to heat up when things
Yeah.
get a little greasy.
Yeah.
As they start making but 2 wins. It looked like he's locked himself probably into that chase for the
yeah.
championship as
think
well.
so. Yeah.
he's good. They're still looking for his first NHRA national championship
Yes,
in
he is.
dragster. So
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
local connection from San Luis Obispo, California.
That's right.
We'd love to see him get that championship at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and we
that'd be
know
cool.
we're going to see him in 17 at the March meets
I
at
think
Auto
I'll-
Club Famoso
we'll make
Raceway.
that happen.
Right on. All right, we're going to
Yeah.
take our first break. Thanks a lot, race fans. Again, don't adjust anything on your computer. It's just us. We've taken over.
We can't fix
This is
that.
our day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
Can't
back.
fix
Right, we'll be back with the Kern County Raceway segment coming up next.